Well, hello there. We have a requested video here. The Sig Sauer P365 versus the Smith & Wesson CSX. Let's just call them Micro 9 concealed carry and or pocket pistols. So we have a couple of requested videos, and this one's one of the older ones, and I'm finally getting around to it. Full disclaimer up front, it's not going to be long and protracted. What I'm ultimately going to do is link you to both of the reviews that I've done on both of these pistols, and we'll see what I pick for the P365 because I got like 5 or 6 of those videos. So you can go to those videos to see me actually shooting them and the details of them, but what I'm going to do here is just point out the major differences between these two pistols, because if you're in the market for a Micro 9, there's a couple of just vast differences between these two pistols, and that's what I think should be your guiding force for your selection if you're on the fence between these two particular pistols. So first of all, we'll go ahead and just for safety's sake make sure that these are clear, which they are. So the P365 has an empty 10-round magazine and the chamber is clear. And then we have the Smith & Wesson CSX. Forgive me as I slap mosquitoes away from my leg. And this one too is also clear. So there's the two pistols, safety checked and verified for the management and you safety nerds out there. So let's just start off by pointing out the biggest difference, in my opinion, between these two pistols is that one is hammer fired, a traditional hammer fired pistol, and one is striker fired. The P365 is a striker fired pistol versus the hammer fired CSX. The CSX is also in the single action configuration. So that makes a big difference, and that is the trigger pull. So with the P365, you have that fairly longish take up before the snap, before the break that is. So we'll just demonstrate that again. Fairly large take up and the break. So the CSX is the single action, so just fairly minimal travel before the actual break, but kind of a lot for an actual single action trigger, especially compared to, say, my competition 1911, which is very short and light. There's a little bit to it, but this is still relatively new, so it's not really broke in. So, you know, I'm probably actually going to trade this just because I'm downsizing my overall gun collection. So we're selling and trading right now just to kind of minimize the overall collection. And it's a great little pistol. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything negative about this. It does have that little bit of the trigger issue to it, which is a known thing. A lot of people have solves for it. A lot of people claim that it loosens up through time. But either way, that's the biggest difference to me, is if you're training, getting used to the pistol, those two different striker fired versus single action hammer, that's a big difference. Other than that, there really is a lot of similarities. One, they both have the ambidextrous safety. So as you can see on both pistols, that is the case. Another similarity is that the capacity is relatively similar. Now you can get 10 and 12 round magazines for both of these guns, but I'm not so sure if you can get 15 rounders for the CSX, which you definitely can for the P365. I have this little olive drab green module that I sometimes put on my bag, or maybe in my range bag or whatever, that holds two 15 round magazines for the P365. Now you can see, putting that on, it's kind of like, it's a bit of a chongus, but you know, it's a nice option, and they do fit relatively snug, and they're in there good, and they always work. They're very reliable. I don't think there's 15 round magazines available for the CSX. I could be wrong. But another thing too, the CSX actually comes with 2 magazines when you buy it. It has this 12 round magazine, and it's got this little ring. Let's just refer to it as a ring. I don't like that. I think that's stupid. I think that is something that can, you know, break or, you know, cause more pinches. I think that's kind of stupid, but it does come with a 10 and 12 round magazine, whereas the P365 only came with two 10 round magazines. I don't have it with me right now, but it comes with the 10 round with the flush fit and the 10 round that has the little lip that comes off, allowing you to have a little place to put your pinky. Again, 10, 12, and 15 round magazines are available. Here is a 12 round magazine for the P365 loaded with Spear gold dots. So we'll keep that out of frame because we're keeping that away because we're safe here. We're having a safe video. So other than that, the actual shooting experience, apart from the trigger, the recoil and snappiness, I'd say, are pretty comparable. Of course, this is the Wilson Combat Lower Grip module on the P365, so this isn't indicative of how it would come from the factory. But if you want to see that, click the link in the description and go to the original review I've done of this pistol. So that being said, perhaps another one of the greatest differences, the biggest differences between these two pistols is the modularity of the P365, where the actual gun, the serialized part, is the fire control unit, which can be removed and placed back into any P365 of the 3.1 inch variant lower grip module, and then you can basically configure the P365 any way you want. Not an option with the CSX. With the CSX, you just get a little hammer-fired, single-action Micro 9 compact pocket pistol. It is what it is, whereas you have all those options with the P365. So if you're truly on the fence and watching this video, that's another major difference between these two. So that's about it as far as if you want the major comparisons. You do have the just plain Jane white dots on the sights of the CSX, whereas the P365 does come with the Sig light night lights, the tritium, which is a nice feature of that. This little guy pretty much goes with me everywhere and it's almost always next to me, from walking around during the day to sleeping next to me at night in a very specific location. So I guess that's a fitting end to the video as to which one I choose to carry. Well, I'm selling or trading this one, and I carry this one every day, and it almost never leaves my side. So that's it. But that's a personal preference, guys. I mean, I'm choosing to carry a, you know, mostly polymer striker-fired pistol, the P365. This is a great concealed carry, everyday carry option. It really is. If you can get used to that trigger. I did a video about 2 or 3 weeks ago about comparing this to the Sig Sauer P938, which is almost an identical style pistol. So you can go check that out too if you want. But that is the major differences between the Sig Sauer P365 and the Smith & Wesson CSX. So those few of you that requested the video, hope you enjoyed this and it was sufficient, gave you all the information you wanted. Feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section if you have any questions or need to know any more information. And I totally just dropped a flashlight. Until next time, later.